Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading Multi-Character Listener by me. So let's get into it. Scaramouche. Scaramouche was holding you by the waist as you walked around. You wanted to go to a store and buy new shoes. And although he did not get your obsession with buying shoes right now, he would just do whatever he wanted. Whatever his beloved wanted, his beloved would get. Even if that meant waiting outside the store for 20 minutes, as you were trying on something new that you told him you didn't want him seeing. But because you did not go in, of course trouble was bound to follow. You did not notice the man that was watching you, but Scaramouche just happened to go in, just at the same time as that man was inching closer to you, moving and walking towards you, and then holding the hem of your skirt and bending down to look up your skirt. That's when Scaramouche acted so quickly that it was almost as fast as the speed of light itself. You didn't register what was happening until the guy was on the ground and you heard a loud punch. Scara? What happened? Didn't I tell you to wait outside? You don't know what's going on, Wyan. Let me deal with him. Scaramouche, you just walked into the store and started punching a random guy. What's going on? I'll tell you. You just need to trust me, he said, and then he dragged him out, giving you no further explanation of what was going on. As everyone was staring at what was happening, you didn't even have any explanation, and you had no idea what to do afterward, but just keep staring as well. And then when he came back, there was a little bit of blood on his hands. But then he tiptoed towards you and kissed your cheek gently. It's all right now. You've got nothing to worry about. I was not worrying about anything from the start. I just want to know what happened. Come on, Ryan. Just pay for what you got. I saw nothing. And when you head out, I'll explain it all to you, my dear. You took a deep breath and decided that there was no way that you were getting anywhere with this. So you just sighed, nodding, and went to the checkout area. You were going to buy the shoes. And then you were going to interrogate him. And at the very least, he seemed to understand that. Lenny was quite busy, and today was hectic. The two of you left the house to finish up some errands you had. Mostly him, while you would just walk around. You loved going out. And the outdoors, well, they were always nice on Fontaine. So, there was nothing bad about just leaving the house with Lenny, even if sometimes it meant waiting outside like right now, while he finished up whatever he had to. He said it would be quick, but now 10 minutes had passed, and there was no sign of him. You wondered if you should go ask about him, but maybe you're not meant to go there. You had no idea why he told you to wait outside in the first place, but surely there's a reason or so behind it. And that's why you just waited patiently for him and hoped that he would be back soon. Alas, a particular pervert seemed to have some other ideas, and that meant that you were going to actually have to deal with him. There was nothing worse than having to deal with perverts, and that one in particular was also very sneaky. He bent down, trying to look up your skirt, and it just so happens that Lenny had walked out. You were quite busy, looking at something happening in the distance, so you didn't notice them moving behind you. But Lenny did, and he was running towards you. You had no idea what was going on, so you tilted your head. Lenny? What's going on? Why are you running like that? It's only been 10 minutes. And then it slowly became clear that he was not looking at you, rather behind you. And when you turned, you saw the guy backing away quickly as Lenny punched him in the face. You disgusting pervert. What were you thinking doing that? Hey, I can explain. There is nothing you can say to explain yourself. Lenny spat, punching him again, and you could only bring your hand to your mouth. You had no idea what was happening, but you already had an idea of what it could be. So you watched them just go at it for a while. Mostly it was Lenny hitting, and the guy cowering back. And eventually, someone had came to separate them. But Lenny was seething with anger. He wanted nothing more than to punch him again. So you wrap your arms around him, giving him a soft kiss on the forehead. It's all right, Lenny. I'm right here. He whispered gently, and he melted into your touch. Sure, that was not going to make him forget what happened, but he took comfort in knowing that he prevented it, and that you were okay. That's what mattered most to him. Venti. Venti was really questionable sometimes. After all, he seemed to hate violence. But sometimes he had his other ways that were a lot more questionable. Although, right now it was justified. As far as he remembers, you were picking some flowers while he was looking around the area. He loved Mondstadt, and he loved to go up the mountains. So he was a little bit lost in thought, thinking of some beautiful things that he wanted to show you. And there happened to be some other people too. But some lonely guy had tried to look up your skirt while you were bending down to pick up some flowers. And Venti was not going to let it slide. Not at all. He made him fly high up in the air. Now, that's very rude of you, is it not? Hey, lay me down. Maybe I will. I mean, surely I can't let you down if you don't apologize to my darling Wayan. Try apologizing to her first, and promising that you will never ever do that again. Or if you do, I'll make sure Barbados himself deals with you. The guy looked a little bit terrified, considering that Venti had a vision, and he seemed to be blessed by the archons. So, they could punish him now. And that's why I apologized to you. Maybe that was not the desired effect. He hoped that the guy had some guilt about it. And he will make sure to make it happen, even if not right now. He knows him well now, and he will deal with him personally later on. Now he just did not want him to ruin the mood. And most importantly, he wanted you to feel safe as you continued picking your flowers. And seeing that smile return on your face as you continued doing what you did, as you sent the guy away, it was the most precious thing in the world. And he did kiss you after. He certainly did. You had a beautiful smile, and it always made his heart melt with happiness. So, do not blame him about that. Xiao. Xiao was really careful. Most of the time, he was worried about you, and thus he was watching over you, like some guardian angel of sorts. Although you loved him being a guardian angel, you loved him more as a boyfriend. And you wanted him to feel carefree and not stressed while going out on dates with you. That's why you were getting him to try some new things. And you wanted to take a picture of him at some point. So as you sat him down, figuring out a good place for him to sit and pose, you had gotten in a rather awkward position as you were leaning down to just snap that right shot. Meanwhile, Xiao had his eyes closed. He told him that it would look ethereal with the moonlight on his face. He was rather embarrassed, blushing, but he was doing it for you. Maybe there was something to this. Maybe he was too old to get into it, but he certainly was trying his best. He wanted to learn after all. He was not ignorant of what you liked. And that's simply why, when he opened his eyes to see if you were done, he saw the guy creeping up behind you as he tried to lean down and look up your skirt. And in a moment, he had teleported behind him and slapped him across the face. You disgust me. The guy screamed because he was terrified, because Xiao had teleported first, and he was hitting him now. He turned around immediately, and you looked upset because you could assume what happened as Xiao hit him again. Xiao, was he really just trying to? Yes, Wayan, but don't you worry. I'll deal with him. Just make sure not to end him completely. You tell him you do not want Xiao to do something brutal, and most of all, you don't want his hands getting dirtied by someone as filthy as that. So once he dealt with him, he actually took him to the guards and told them about what he did. He must spend some time in prison now. After all, he was not going to let him roam about while he could do something like that again without learning his lesson. And when he came back to you, he wrapped his arms around you. I'm sorry, Ryan. That guy could have. Don't be sorry. You protected me, remember? So I should thank you. I'm grateful to have you around, Xiao. I really am. And it was a relief to hear that from you. And just so you know, you did end up taking that picture, and it looked gorgeous in the end.